Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Matt Novak. Alongside me, as always, Grant Hawker.
Always. Let's go.
On the third mic, no hat this week, Jameson DeFore.
Don't need it.
Trying to
My
be
team's not
incognito, hide from those TikTok followers.
Trying to stay out of the Super Bowl press.
That's right.
Keep
Media
that
row.
head down. Keep your
Media
head
row.
down.
Yeah.
Viral Jameson DeFore gracing us with his presence. And then back with us, my good buddy, Brogan. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
It's
up,
been a
boys?
minute since Brogan has gotten to join us in here, but it's been almost a year. So we were like, hey,
Yeah.
let's do that again. We had a great time.
Yeah. Actually, I can tell you the last time I was on was right after the Ducks lost to Ohio State in the playoff. And so all the Duck fans were like, we got to fix the playoff.
Oh, no, we
now-
were hiding sharp things. We were trying to fix anything. We all wanted to shoot ourselves. That was horrible.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Actually, Jeremiah Smith just scored another touchdown in that game. Crazy enough.
Yeah.
It's rolling and rolling. Dude, we have some stuff to get to tonight. I'm super pumped. We get NFL honors finally. So all of these conversations we've been having all year are finally going to go to rest before we get to the Super Bowl and we go eat a ton of food. I don't know what your guys' situation is going to look like this weekend, but mine's going to be pretty bananas. We got some great cooks that are going to be at the thing I'm doing. So super pumped for all that. But I love putting to rest this conversation. But we also know that with it, next week, we're going to be right back here going, are you kidding me? On more than one of these, for sure. So we're going to dive straight in to the NFL honors, get to it. But before we get fully engrossed in it, all the things that happened to get here, like looking back over the 2025 season, which always makes me so sad when we have to start talking like that as if it died. If your team's not playing on Sunday, it did. But when we look back over it, there was a lot of highs and lows this season for one of these Super Bowl teams, actually both of them. I was just thinking about this the other day. Both of them suffered a week one loss to the Seahawks, losing to the Niners 17-13. And do you remember when the Raiders won a football game?
Yeah, I do.
It was against the other team in the Super Bowl, the Patriots, right out of the gate. I know, I remember coming in that first week, and my office is 2 Raider fans, 1 49er fan. We walk in, Monday morning, we're like, hey, see you in the Super Bowl, boys. See you in the Super Bowl. Did you just take down the Pats?
Yeah.
Freaking, look at those Seahawks. They can't score points.
Yeah.
They can't score points. Oh,
Same old Sam Darnold. Same old
could have
Sam
the most
Darnold.
dominant season of his career.
Seahawks in shambles. Geno Smith is winning games. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things were said. All of them.
I know. We're not going to spend. We mentioned the Raiders and Geno. I got to say this. You sent this earlier this week. How bad is Geno Smith where he leaves a team and they go to the Super Bowl and his new team gets the #1 pick?
Yeah.
Man, I made a video on this channel about defending this guy. And I look a little silly right now. Holy cow.
And let's go to this. Let's go to it right now. All right, here goes.
Yeah. No.
Oh, we don't have it? Okay. That actually we do. Go scroll down on all of our social media.
Yeah, it's there.
Actually, if you go down on this channel right here on Sportsify, you can find Grant's clip defending Geno Smith and the one about Sam Darnold and whatever quarterback happens to be playing for the Seahawks next year and the year after, probably. Just throwing that out there.
It's gonna be Ginger Cuz, dude. It's gonna be Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Dude,
Anyway.
No, we're gonna just keep cycling through whatever resurgent backup.
We'll get
It'll
Baker.
be Zach Wilson, Mac Jones.
We'll get
Wilson's not
Baker.
going to see a football field. That's outrageous.
We'll take another Jets quarterback and take him to the Super Bowl. We'll do it.
I can't.
That one's beyond.
If you guys got Justin Fields, I would be ecstatic.
No, dude. No.
Dude, did you say
quarterbacks that can't throw for 1,000, Alex?
he got invited to the Pro Bowl and he said no because he was busy working on
working on
for
myself.
I'm working for the offseason. I'm like, to what? Hold an iPad and sit on a bench? What do you expect to be doing in the 2026 season?
He's elevating his screen time, boys.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
They got to give him the second player controller that's unplugged from the console.
Yeah, yep. 100%. Yeah, Justin Fields' experiment is over.
He's got a headset that's just connected to one random dude, not even the rest of the team.
Yep.
He's like, I think we should do this.
Okay, buddy. Now you know you're playing left guard. Which way you going on this play?
So funny.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
dude.
gosh.
I was thinking about that, about how the year started though, and when you think about it week to week, how it like takes shape. Remember when the Bucks were good? Like they were
For the
just
first like 7 weeks.
They
Baker
were
Mayfield
balling out.
MVP like on lock. Like
Yeah, we mentioned it a couple weeks ago when they did not make the playoffs, but and like all of their situation happened, but they beat the Niners and they beat the Seahawks in
And a
consecutive
shootout, too.
weeks.
Yeah.
yeah.
That team had a lot going for it, and all of a sudden that defense just went, nope.
Oh, no, it was still dumb. I mean, we talked many times about it, about the Panthers lose but still get in because the tiebreakers. Like the Bucks probably should have because they had to end up with a winning record, but then the Panthers ended up like making that a close game in the playoffs. Oh, maybe they did deserve to be here, hanging with the top team in the playoffs. But what
They
a
probably
season!
wouldn't have done better than what the Panthers did.
Oh no, I don't think
Just
they would
putting
have
up that
won.
fight.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, if you lose like 6 of your last 7 or something along those lines to end the
Yeah.
season, like you don't really belong to be there. Even if you won the
Yeah.
last game in the we win and then we wait on the result, like you also got to sleep in the
Yeah.
bed you made.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was also though. I think the favorite Super Bowl matchup was Tampa Bay and Indianapolis because they both were the 1 seeds,
Mid-season.
and everyone's like, they're unstoppable. Both
Yep.
teams missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Week 8 and week 9, that was the favorite. That was it right there. The most wanted and desired. Vegas had some varying like polls going in there. Like you could see there was this kind of magnetism with the Bucks where they were like it. And then the Colts were like the varying thing for a little bit. And then, dude, a month later, Phillip Rivers gets off the couch and is playing football. The
Yeah.
Bucks can't beat anybody, and Mike Evans is throwing a fit on his way to the locker room, which is
Yeah.
not Mike Evans at all. Like that dude's a consummate professional, and he's out there just screaming at his team and losing his mind on the sideline when the defense blows it.
There
again.
was the Kirk Cousins, Kyle Pitts legacy game. That's what that game was. Like, this season is like unbelievable. If you just like, if someone was like in a coma for 5 years and you told them all of the things that happened for this season, like the outcomes, you'd be like, no, what drugs are you on, man? That didn't happen.
And,
Like,
and then
if you-
in between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick will get snubbed from being a first ballot.
Yeah.
Hall of
Robert
Famer.
Kraft would get snubbed too. Snubbed too. Like,
Yeah.
I
Just as,
think
like the cherry on top of all
I
the stuff.
I legit think, like I talked about it a little bit. I think this, obviously, even my team excluded, whatever may happen with my team, like this might be one of the best seasons of football. Like just the storylines were just insane. The ups and downs for teams falling apart. The resurgence of Daniel Jones, like playing like an MVP. We're talking about Jonathan Taylor maybe winning MVP at one point. There was that.
First coming back.
Phillip Rivers coming back. Sam Darnold playing in the Super Bowl. Mahomes not making the playoffs. We've got Lamar
Matthew
not making the
Stafford's
playoffs.
back was broken in half, and then he's probably going to win MVP this week.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Commanders falling apart.
Yeah.
So many things. You're just completely seemed like the least likely outcome, and like all of those seem to happen this year. And as we talk about like best games of the season, there's not a wrong choice for like game of the year. There's every week we're getting a game of the year candidate.
Oh yeah.
Just an incredible season.
Because you also had the rookies. There's always rookies that get attention, but I feel like it was different this year because you had Shadur Sanders, who was like every week, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? You've got Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, who only know how to play with their head, and they're actually good, but then they're always. I think it was. Oh shoot! I think he was like 5 for 5, Jackson Dart, on going to the blue tent whenever he started at one point. Like it was 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
And they were like, but they won one of those games. So
Yeah.
like you've got that. You've got freaking Aaron Rodgers as the year went on slowly. Like there were so many just random storylines from this year. Like, what is happening? Oh my gosh.
The 2 longest tenured head coaches gone from the same
Gone.
from the same division, and Tomlin and Harbaugh gone. Just so, many
firings
things.
in general.
There was at one
12
point
changes.
12. Is it
Yeah.
12? Is that what it was?
12 changes the third time it's happened in the history of the NFL, and that is
You-
the biggest number.
The average is like 6. That's what it is. But to double that, just insane, man. So
Yeah, no, I looked back and was just like seeing a few games, and our perspective at the time was so much different. I think it's week 5 or 6, the Pats beat the Bills, and we were going off on the Bills. We're like, what are you doing losing to this team? These bums lost to the Raiders.
they lost to the
Like,
Dolphins too.
Yeah, what are you doing? And it's interesting how teams develop. And we said early on in Brogan, I know you see enough of the show to know we say this a lot, that come November, you know who your team is.
Yeah.
And come November, most of what we just said about, in whether it was the Super Bowl favorites, the stuff about the Pats, the 49ers, Seahawks, all of these different things, it came to be. Like, you see it start to really develop, and you're like, whoa, that's a thing. This is a team. Yeah. Stafford became an MVP candidate for real in November. Drake May slid off. Josh Allen was playing hero ball and then had to deal with the weather and some injuries to his teammates and all that stuff. And so his numbers didn't go where they needed to for that to be a thing. Lamar had it's the weirdest season of his career. This is why his coach is gone. It was the weirdest season. The Ravens started out 1-4. But by the time we get to November, we're like, all right, this is who all these teams are. This is where they're headed. And that playoff picture comes in and you see these trends. We watched the Bucks fall off and all that came to be in November. And I think that was an important lesson. When I look back over the whole season, I'm like, dude, wait till November.
Yeah.
Don't talk your trash till November. Don't get a big head and don't worry until November. Like, November is it. And if doing this podcast now for 5 full seasons, I think we could easily look back and see that has been true every single year, that November is what matters. Everything up until then is just chaos. And that's what, to Grant's point, this was a great season, and the chaos was there, especially for 8 weeks. It was there. We just had no idea where everything was headed. And I love that about the NFL. That's why we do this. We started out as a multi-sport podcast, and we realized really quickly, I love baseball. I love it. Like, I'm following my team right now. I know who's on my team's 40-man roster. I'm seeing the lineup shape up, and I'm terrified because the Red Sox don't have enough people to hit home runs. Great pitching staff, but they do not have anybody who's going to hit long balls in the realm of 30 right now. But I love baseball. I love college football. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. We did a little bit about the NBA for a minute. That's not a good product. Not a big fan. There's some good players, freak athletes out there. Good for them. But that's not a good product. The NFL is a good product always. Yeah. It never fails us. And, man, I'm so grateful for the 2025 season and all the joy that has genuinely brought. And we super appreciate those of you that have followed along all season long with us and have also jumped on the train and momentum here. We super appreciate all the engagement. It's been so much fun. But I wanted to make sure that we mention that today, that this has been a really cool ride this year. We have seen a lot of cool things for us as a podcast kind of start to take off. And so we're just really glad to be able to get to do this and have you guys engaging with us. Please make fun of Jameson more. We would really appreciate that. He's the easiest target out. He's not. Okay, Grant, we know, is the easiest target.
I put on a child's football helmet last week. Okay,
you wore Dwight Schrute's suit on this stinking thing one time.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Grant is the easiest target.
I've got a blow up alien costume. I can wear that next.
Yeah.
So.
I do like to fire off a take for sure.
Oh, please do. Yeah. And Grant, let's just prep this right now. This is going on TikTok 100%.
Oh, I'm not saying I have one right now. I'm just saying the reason people want to get mad at me is because I fire off a take here and there.
Yeah, that's true. And it's very clippable. It's just easy. It's easy to find it, and it's ready to go.
Well, also, Jameson, because you're a little quieter, it's one of those things where you've got in the group of friends, there's the one annoying guy, but you're tired of telling him that he's annoying. But then when someone else says an annoying comment, you're like, bro, shut up. And everyone's like, why did you jump? Like, Jameson, I feel like at times that's you. It's like Matt and Grant doing this back and forth. And then Jameson goes, I think that team's overrated. And everyone's like, shut up, dude.
Yeah. Sam Darnold could win the Super Bowl, and I'm still not sure if I would trust him.
Yep, there he is. That's what we pay him for, right there. 100%. That's what we
Show me Sam Darnold on a team that doesn't have a stellar defense.
Whenever he starts out with he does this thing where he does this. And if he leans in, buckle up, kids.
Yeah.
Buckle up, kids. He could be firing off tomorrow's first take script for sure as soon as that head
and the mildest one is the one that everybody wanted to watch, apparently.
Yeah. Let's talk about going to Super Bowl parties, and I don't want to hang out with my friends and watch football. I just the ones that are Rams fans, and only 2 of them. Cool. See you later, million views and 750 comments and 10,000 freaking shares and all that garbage. What the crud? That was
Still
wild.
baffling.
Still baffling.
Yeah.
But no, we've been appreciative of the ride and the personalities that we get. We loved having our buddy Mike with us, who will be back next week when we do our season full recap. But man, it was a wild ride that got us here. But now we got to talk about the honors that everybody who doesn't play football is going to hand out.
Wait,
So
guys, the Pro Bowl
excited for this.
is happening right now as we're recording. We got to talk about the Pro Bowl. The flag
Don't worry,
football
guys.
game is going
I
on.
we
did
don't.
get some notifications. It's a 52-52 game at the start of the fourth quarter. We got
Oh.
to tap in and see what's going on here.
Big news for the unemployed right there.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday. This thing didn't happen on Sunday?
No, they moved it to Tuesday.
But
'Cause
Jamar Chase had a
Mon-
one-handed interception in this game.
Whoa.
Are they aware of which side of the ball he plays on, or that's a typo, right?
No, it's just the Pro Bowl.
Kill me.
It's just it's little. The Pro Bowl is let's throw something on the wall and see.
That
what
was the
sticks.
first notification I
Yeah.
saw, and I was like, there's another reason why I'm not watching it. You have one of the best receivers in the league playing defense. I guess when you say that out loud, it's that in theory would be cool, but it's not
It's-
like
but
NFL
it's-
Street where you
it's-
can just
Yeah,
flip them
his
on
name was
there and,
Travis
like-
Hunter.
Yeah. And you're only
That's-
playing defense because we know nobody's trying. So
Yeah.
if you were going to tell me that, hey, I'm actually trying for my life out here, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I saw an idea. Someone said it needs to be the flag football game needs to have a weight limit or a weight minimum. Like you have to be 285 pounds to play in
Yes.
it. And it's like left tackles and defensive tackles that are playing. And I was like, see,
I'd
that
watch-
would be a little bit more entertaining.
I would love to see Brian Dawkins slinging the rock.
like Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That dude would be the cheat code in that game.
Yeah.
Like 315 pounds.
Trent
Catching
Williams
Calvin
running a
Johnson.
post route.
Oh, no thanks. Nope.
Yeah,
Lord.
he might pull that aggravate that hammy again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a also over 38-year-old man, no thanks. I don't want him doing that before next season. But dude, that would be electric. If you think of the matchups that could come in, that would I would watch these guys play shuffleboard though. Who am I kidding? Like,
Yeah.
let's just get football out of it. Either make it completely insane and ridiculous. Let's like not even try and make it football. Like I would rather watch the Pro Bowl games and literally have them play Madden than watch them play whatever the garbage football is that they're playing that I don't care about at all. That's way more fun.
Well,
But
do
also,
you remember, Matt,
let's
do you
just not
remember when
call
they
it.
used to do it was just a quarterback one, but who could throw the farthest?
Skills challenge.
Yeah, like
Yep.
I remember as a kid watching that, and
Yep.
it was like he threw it 71. Like even that's more entertaining than
Dude,
this.
Michael Vick dropping it in a bucket from
Yeah.
70 yards out.
I like those. I like when they get the targets out there. I like when they got the buckets. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
give me some of the accuracy stuff. I always say just like it doesn't translate to basically any other position. I don't know if you guys saw the clips of I don't even know what they called it, but it was basically like the trick shot catching game.
Yep.
Where you like jump off and you like do a cool catch and then you land on the pad. I'm like, this is so lame.
But you
Listen.
could do a long snap accuracy challenge.
Yes.
They had that kind of was it last year? Like maybe a couple years ago when Jason Kelsey was still playing and he was like they reposted crap from years past and he's just trying to long snap it at the 5-point thing. It's like the smallest like hole to hike it through, and he just spends the entire time trying to get it in the smallest one and misses every single one. So they still have some of those because I think this was when they
Okay.
moved it to the doing like the flag football game and that kind of stuff. I will say though, the one flag football thing I am excited about is when it's in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yes.
I will be excited to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, you're actually trying for something real.
Yeah, you get a gold
You'll be
medal.
Like, if I get injured in the Olympics, so
You're an
be it.
Olympian, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's
if I get
something.
injured at the Pro Bowl, I'm just gonna
Hate
I don't know
everything.
if I can say that on this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I legit cannot wait for the Winter Olympics this week. I am so excited. I love the Winter Olympics. It is the best.
I like
Olympic.
them more. Yep.
And that's no offense to summer. Like it's no offense. It's just, dude, when those guys are on skis and they're gonna go shoot, I'm literally like, how are you not playing James Bond in your buds? Seriously. That's all I think about. Freaking curling is intense as it gets. Okay.
I do think
Watching the
Winter
bros lose their
Olympics-
minds.
Like the Winter Olympics, I think the baseline is better. Like competition to competition, I think it's like more interesting. But the Summer Olympics just have all the highest highs that it's hard for me to beat. personally.
I like
But-
races. They have much better. It's not fun to watch the like speed skating. It's not that. It's not as cool usually. But like when you're watching those dudes fly around the track and you're like, how are you not dying right now? That's pretty impressive. The Ethiopians 30 laps in or whatever. That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
I will be tapped into some bobsledding though. Believe that.
Heck yeah. Skeleton for real. But anyway, we need to get to our stuff. So
This is probably the longest like intro because there's two things to talk about. We're talking about all sorts of random
Yeah.
stuff right now.
We had a
It's fun.
bobsled mention before we got to NFL
MVP.
MVP
yeah.
in the award show podcast.
In the realm of right now, it matters more. If we get into the honors conversation, we're gonna open up and mention those who have a shot, if you will. This is the closing list. I have Vegas's odds in front of me. This was as of yesterday, so this is it on the betting odds. And definitely a little different than the end of the regular season when everybody definitely had all their votes in. Totally happened.
I have
do not-
some of those odds written down here as well in my notes because I did this a few weeks ago. So I'll be interested to see maybe where some of these ones have changed now that we've officially closed.
I'm going to keep it in the realm of top 5, just to keep the conversation around specific individuals that have a legitimate shot. And we're just going to start. We'll start with, what does Mike have there first? Sorry.
Are we going to talk about our favorite player from this year or like the impact rates?
We'll hit
talk
that afterwards. Yeah.
Perfect. So first one is offensive rookie of the year.
All right. So let's go to offensive rookie of the year. That is number 5 would be Egbuka, closed at plus 12,000. Tyler Shugg closed at plus 1,400. Dart was at plus 900. So was Travion Henderson. And I think the odds-on favorite, I don't know how you're going somewhere else, is Tet. Like, it consistent, had some big games. Egbuka had an injury, and really, I think 2. Otherwise, maybe he's right there.
He was indicative of the Buck season, right? Like on fire first 5
Wide
weeks.
receiver 1 on a team with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin when he came
Like
back.
just tearing it up. Like not even wide receiver 1 for rookies, like in general, just insane. But yeah, so that's
And I will say, if he lived through the season, Scatterboo's on this list. Like he's top 3 for sure. I think he probably would have been 1 or 2 had he lived through the season. But we don't know if he'll ever live through a season because that guy's insane.
Yeah,
like he's clinical, super fun to watch. But that star is gonna burn out real quick. No, so do you guys have a different opinion than Tet? Because I think it's just Tet.
That was the only person I even wrote down on mine. Yeah. Like I made a list of the ones that I felt were actually in consideration, and when I got to offensive rookie of the year, I just like only wrote down Tet's name.
I think a lot of
yards on a winning team.
Yeah, and I think too, like a lot of these guys, there's so many like what ifs. Like if Travion Henderson, if they played him more at the start of the season, like he ended with 900 yards or whatever, so like solid. But it's like
Stevenson took back the lead role.
Yeah, so he had like from like week probably like 8 to like 14 was somewhere like the number 1, playing great, and then they decided to not play him. So yeah, it's got to be Tet.
But I'm really surprised, if I'm being honest, really surprised that it didn't happen at some point, that it didn't take off. But this just shows you how bad his team is. Genty should be here. Like, this should be him. But when your team sucks that bad, it hoses the individual. Genty was number 6 on the list, by the way. So in the honorable mention realm, and not that far off Egbuka for top 5.
Yeah. What's a bummer, too, Genty is his season was made to be really bad. But when you actually look at his stats, legitimately, like, his team is horrible. Like, he didn't have a bad year. But the Raiders are when your quarterback throws 82 interceptions, you're not going. It's just
and there's 3 defensive linemen in the backfield when you get the ball.
Yeah,
like
at all times.
Yeah, you're getting like negative yards before contact.
Yes. Yeah, he's one of the only running backs in the league that didn't have point something next to his name before contact. Who's literally getting dropped.
He got 975. So for all intents and purposes, like a miracle season. Like it should have been like 600 yards.
975 wasn't his total yards. That was his rush.
Yeah, that was just his rush.
He catches some balls. Like he's not.
I think it was 1,200 was like his total for the year. It was.
Yeah, that's a good season. You get that. It's a great season.
Seriously, that's a starting running back season right now for either a bad team or a team that just passes a lot. Like that's.
Yeah, he had 975 rushing, 346 receiving. Yeah. And he had double-digit touchdowns. He had 5 receiving and 5 rushing.
Yeah, I mean that's more
I-
rushing yards than Josh Jacobs, if you can believe that.
In that scenario, I just want to make a case. I don't understand, other than the fact that his team sucked really bad, why he's not 3.
So, do you think it's expectation?
Yeah.
Like,
It
I
has to
wonder
be,
if
like-
everyone is expecting
Okay.
him to be good.
Yeah,
And you, McMillan was like,
6 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns.
yeah. I wonder if people are just expecting him to be the best thing ever. And
Well, yeah, they're probably expecting like the Ezekiel Elliott rookie year where he leads the league in rushing right at the gate.
Yes.
That's
To
what
be
they were
fair,
expecting.
We all had a lot higher hopes for the Raiders, for sure. Just to frame it, absolutely. I agree
Yeah.
with that across the board. But when you look at those numbers,
yeah,
you should be higher, dude, because you can't sit there and justify Jackson Dart, though electric, it's a micro compared to the macro Genty.
Yeah, you go 1,200 yards, double-digit touchdowns. That's what he got in total. Yeah,
good running back season for anybody.
It's fine.
every
If
team would take that.
Absolutely. And then the running back for the Raiders, that's a really good season.
Yeah, you pointing out his, what was it? Did you say 2.6, Jameson?
Carry.
3.6.
Sorry?
3.6.
3.6. You know, at 3 point, I think it was 8.5.
That's from McCaffrey.
Freaking CMC. Yep.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, we'll get to the conversation. I do think that efficiency is probably going to play into some reasoning for him not winning a certain award potentially.
Definitely could.
And I think it does. I think it does matter. But also, unfortunately, the kind of side effect of being on the Raiders is also we don't get to really watch you that much because you're not on a good team. In fact, you're on a very worse team.
They're the redheaded stepchild no one wants to talk about. That's what it was this year. It's like they're the wart that
I
you're
think,
not wanting
and I think
to look
in
at.
these conversations, like when you have moments, like again, numbers in a vacuum, pretty good all things considered, maybe even great all things considered. But I do think like there is an element of what I don't remember you doing anything this year.
He had the one
Like
crazy
if you
game.
asked me to guess
like
how many
that.
yards he had, I don't know. Like I would have had no point of reference to be like, oh, I remember he like went off this 1 week where he had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I remembered three games, but that's because I'm a two-time fantasy owner of that guy. So I remember those games real good. But the touchdowns were there. He was consistent. If you're a fantasy owner, you got consistent. You didn't love that you took him at the late first, early second necessarily, but you were not sad about having the guy throughout the course of the season. I think it's funny, though, that we're just sitting here talking about watching a guy. Tet is getting it, and nobody watches the Panthers. No. Nobody. I think the difference is that his team was in position to get into the playoffs and do some damage right at the close of vote here, and that pushes certain people down, and quarterbacks get more recognition than running backs all the time, and we say rightfully it's the hardest position in sports. Not a problem with that, but Shug and Dart, like Shug got better as the year went along, but we saw about 5 weeks of struggle bus that looked like absolute dumpster fires. Just saying, Genty played consistent, did what he could on a bad team. I would like to see him in the top 3 with those kind of stats and overshoot those quarterbacks who had a little bit more of a sample size or minimal sample size than him. But let's move on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. The closing odds on Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schweschinger. I cannot say it, from Cleveland. Dang it, dude.
No,
I'm
you got
so
it.
bad.
That was actually pretty close.
That was
That was okay. James Pierce Jr. from Atlanta. Nick Emanwari from Seattle. Xavier Watts, he's at plus 4,000. Jahad Campbell plus 20,000. My bad. Emanwari was plus 1,400. Pierce is plus 370. And I'm just going to say Carson is minus 550. Carson's not a huge lead there over Pierce, but my shock was that Emanwari's in third. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure Jameson has something to say about it, though.
I do. To me, I had him noted. This is, if I were voting, I would probably pick Nick Emanwari as my defensive rookie of the year. Maybe I have a little bit of a bias just as an opponent because we play him twice a year and he's really freaking good. And who knows, the Seattle Seahawks have a historic DVOA, and part of that is because their defensive DVOA is so good, and he's obviously like a massive part of that. But he only played 14 games, and I think for some people, it's not a disqualifying factor for me. But I think a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, you missed 3 games. Messenger was like 6th in the entire league in tackles on a defense that already has a monster on it in Myles Garrett. So that's a lot of volume when you're sharing a lot of volume. And he was a part of a great defense as well. So I do think he's probably going to take over. But again, if I were voting and if I had to, especially if I was just picking one of these players to like drop onto my team, I would be picking Emmanwori basically all day.
Yeah. He missed the first 3 games because he played like a snap and then had a high ankle sprain. And then I was so bummed, so excited for this guy. I obviously the bias here, I'm wearing the jersey, but for safeties, he's first in sacks, he's first in total pressures, he's first in pass breakups, he's first in reception allowed, he's 8th in stops. Not like rankings for rookies, like overall, like he's already vaulted himself into the Derwin James, the Kyle Hamilton.
I was gonna say
realm.
it's like Mike found himself a new Kyle Hamilton.
Oh,
on his
100
new team.
100%.
Okay, I know these tricks. I'm gonna just do it again.
Yeah, and that was 100% when they picked him. I thought he was the best safety in this draft coming in, and I think that as someone who watches this team every year, he's definitely the difference why they've taken this next step. And I think already he's the best player on this great defense. Like overall, he was the best defensive player on the field in the NFC Championship game. Like he was involved in every single play, like impact play. And so I think it should be him. Obviously, I've got the bias, but like when you're first ranked in a lot of these things, and I know Schlesinger was 6th in total tackles, and that's the thing, but also like you have to take into account like meaningful ball too, who was playing meaningful ball, even in towards the end of the regular season. Obviously, you don't include playoffs in this, but like on the 1A, 1B defense in the league, for him to be doing what he's doing and already cementing himself as a top 3 safety in the league. Yeah. And he didn't play. And then the same way, like he also didn't play every single game. Like
and
you can
still know
and still was.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance it might go to Schlesinger for sure.
Just to hit on Pierce really quick, I like this dude was non-existent until November, so I have a little bit of an issue with that. Comes on hard. This is a pass rush specialist. He has 17 combined tackles all year. It's just 10 and a half of them are sacks.
Yeah.
Real good total sack
they
number.
had the second best pass rush as far as like pressures and sacks, I believe, behind Denver. So they were they were right there all year, and obviously he's a big part of it. But I
think that's the more surprising part for me. Carson, I get like he's a consistent linebacker. Like he'll probably be one of those guys that in 13 years you're gonna look at your team and be like, oh, I didn't know we picked him up at 35 and he's still leading he's one of those types of linebackers. But I was shocked at Pierce. I was like, dude, you did nothing. Like McMillan, I know came on strong for the offensive rookie of the year. He came on strong at the end of the year. He was still playing at the beginning. Pierce did like nothing. And that's where I was like, why is Nick E behind Pierce? That's the one where I'm like, I don't know. I don't get that one at all.
The only team he didn't have a sack against from November 8th on was the Rams. To close out the year, he had 2 different games, like one against New Orleans, one against Tampa Bay, where he had 2 sacks. But I will say the New Orleans one, they had plenty of sacks in that game. So, yeah, it's just their consistency thing. If we're going to say, oh, Emmanwori only played 14 games, Pierce only showed up for half of his. So just saying, that doesn't make sense. I agree. Cleveland had a great defense. This dude had the most tackles on it. Electric for a rookie to be in the top 7, 8 guys at his position. If Fred Warner wouldn't gotten hurt, we'd push him a little farther down that list. But legit, what a guy. Like, I get it. But for my money, Emmanwori is the best player on that list. Like right now, that's the guy. Those are the rookie awards. We're going to dive a little deeper into it. What's our next one, Grant?
Next one, we've got Offensive Player of the Year.
All right.
This one's interesting to me.
I'll go backwards here on this one. I've been starting at 1. My bad. I know the rule is you start at 5 and work your way down. At 5 is Drake May at plus 10,000. At 4 is Bijan Robinson at plus 7,500. Was a little surprised at that. At 3 is CMC at plus 7,500. Then at 2 is Puka at plus 1,200. And then JSN at minus 3,000. Like, it isn't close.
I feel like it should, betting us should be a lot closer.
Can I tell
That
you why?
is significant. And I will tell you that that has changed drastically. If you were watching the odds since the second to last week of the season, it's changed drastically. This is why it's hard to believe that
It
the
was
votes were
Puka
actually
minus,
counted when they said.
or I have
Yeah.
him here. When I made this list, JSN was minus 7,000 and Puka was plus 1,900 at that time.
So it's wow.
I don't understand though. Like it does that to me. Like I understand certain things factor into it, but if you were just watching right at the end of the season, like genuinely, Puka was on a tear and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
200 plus
it
yards
was-
in that Seattle game, and then just from there finished off this year with like
He was-
160 here, 160 there.
He was best. Yeah, he was best receiver last month.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is the ultimate you get punished because your team doesn't make the playoff scenario. What is Bijan doing it for?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry.
So the thing is, though, with all of these, this is the one that I was thinking. Like, I see. I wonder what they're gonna value more, because you go, Puka, his insane tear. He also ends up like having the best average per game reception is like 109. That's like the most
Yeah, it was
average,
100. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, because this year he had 107 yards a game.
which is the highest ever. You got Jason because he led the league and was crazy for a good like first half of the season. You go Bijan because he had the most yards. You go CMC because that offense was CMC. Like that, there's that, and then Drake May because you're trying to give him that and not maybe MVP because you're going to give it to Stafford or something. But all of it is I don't know what they're going to value more, because you can make a case for all of it. Like you could just go Bijan just on the yards, CMC just on what he was for the offensive value, and then for the two wide receivers, I legit don't know, because I don't know what the voters are going to value more. I have no idea.
One,
This is the hardest one.
With Bijan and Christian McCaffrey, the argument for them is you take them off their team and it's significant.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you take JSN or Puka off their teams and it doesn't matter. It does. But Devontae Adams is still on the Rams and is still really good. And Darnold, I mean, like, there's still the running game, but I
It's
don't
build off
add-
a defense.
Yes. But you take Bijan and CMC off their teams and they don't have an offense.
Yep.
And so then do they value that, or are they going to just look at
Numbers.
yeah, it's
And
yeah.
it doesn't line up because, like, when you look at it, CMC or Bijan's yards, all-purpose yards for the league, CMC's
Like
touchdowns,
2, and I think he's like second in total yards, right? I think,
and
yeah.
yep, and then you go look at the two receivers who, by the way, just throwing this out there, need their quarterbacks to do half the job. I'm just throwing it out there. And then we're going to elevate the position over it. But I understand what game changers guys are. You guys know what I mean when I say that. It's just a parody. But when you look at it, how are we valuing that position over the other positions, and the difference making that running back is in those two situations, as Brogan said, like for those teams? That's just crazy. I don't think, though, I'm just being really real, I don't think I'm mad if any of the four get them. Forget it. I don't think it matters. One of those four guys gets it, I'm good.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And again,
bother me.
There's the narrative for all of them.
Absolutely.
I
You
think-
can come at Bijan for a few things. There's some drops in the past game. Dude doesn't do certain things for his offense that other guys do, but he has some just make you look stupid plays and breakaway speed. CMC is the best hybrid running back in the game and maybe ever outside of Marshall Faulk. And give me one or two other names you want to consider. And he played like it this year. I mean, he made some freak catches, just disgusting stuff. But go at Puka, who made 3 catches of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3
to me,
catches
like,
in the history of the NFL, like all timers this season.
Yeah.
It just the shock
JSN
level
and Puka,
was there.
Yeah, the JSN and Puka piece of this award, like those are the two guys that are just going to go nuclear at any moment. And again, this is my bias showing. I think Puka, like what he also does, I mean, he doesn't do a lot in the running game as a runner. I think he put up another 100 yards on the ground and a few touchdowns. But what he also does for the passing and running game in our team, like obviously you're not going to calculate the blocks into the stats, but that means a whole lot to me. But I think the big thing here, and this is ultimately why I think JSN probably takes it, even if I feel Puka is maybe just slightly the better overall player, is you do have Matthew Stafford on your team, who is probably going to win MVP. And if you're going to look at that offense and say, okay, Puka is offensive player of the year, Matthew Stafford is MVP, or hey, we have this other team, Seattle, who has technically the wide receiver one, if you want to go off of the yards and everything here. They have the same amount of touchdowns, and this guy is just always wide open. He's, again, the Seahawks were on TV a decent chunk of times. People got to see JSN make spectacular catches. It passes the eye test, passes the numbers test, and it passes the test of probably significantly elevating your quarterback at the same time. And so that's why I would probably put my vote in. If I wanted to win like the bet here, I would probably put some money on JSN. But if I wanted to put in my submission for who I think probably is the most deserving, it's Puka, just by a slight hair.
Did Puka sit 2 games or go out one, sit another one?
He left one early and then sat out the London game.
Yeah.
He missed a game and a half and was like 60 or whatever the math is, 60, 70 something yards behind JSN.
And sucks for him. That could literally be the difference.
Yeah.
Genuinely could be what splits it and goes the other direction. When you look at him as style, I didn't say this yet, but JSN runs himself open. Puka just battles it out for the ball better than anybody else in the league right now.
It's not 50-50 balls. It's
The run after
80-20.
catch stuff
It's
for both
70-30
guys
balls
is-
for Puka.
I was gonna say what I love about both these receivers is the defense knows the ball's going to them, but they beat it differently. Like in the NFC Championship game, this little route, JSN follows 3 guys and then just like shoots out to the side and he's open. Nakua just stands in the middle of the field, moves the linebacker, grabs the ball over his head, shoves it. It's so funny how their games are so different. Like Nakua's like, he's throwing right here. Everybody surrounds him. He still catches it. Whereas JSN's hiding it and then just pops out. Yeah,
and they have like virtually
not a
identical
bad
stats.
pick. Yeah,
they're
there's
like
not a bad
opposite
pick.
archetypes.
Yeah. No, I love that somebody said this last week about JSN. They're like, he's sane Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate. Antonio maybe a little better on the 50-50, but no, that's not bad. Remember early Antonio just putting dudes on skates.
Yes.
And he was
His running is maybe
corners
a
for
little bit
walk.
better than JSN's, but JSN can get there.
Out of respect, Antonio Brown, this is not what we're talking about at all, but it's actually really sad. I think a lot of people will forget. He legitimately, there was a 5-year stretch where people were like, is this the greatest receiver we've ever seen?
Yeah.
Of his generation, it's an absolute conversation. He had some overlap with some incredible receivers, but dude, he was, I think, a year or 2 of solid production away from a legit first ballot HOF.
Yeah. You could Mount Rushmore type, like just for trying to pick different styles. If you're trying to make a complete, like getting every type of wide receiver for sure. But he's insane.
I mean, if you just select them based off of the peak, that might be like one of the best like peaks. If I want to just put that on a team, like from a pure talent. Yeah.
Dude, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice, and Antonio Brown have the best 5 season sets that you'll find on any receivers. There are other guys like Mike Evans has the consistency. We've been about that a lot. You could look at Randy and see those 2-year stints that he had, 2 of them that were just insane, all-timers. But, yeah, dude, Antonio's right up there when you have that big conversation. And who was making more big catches than that guy in his era? Like, nobody. It was just awesome to watch. But that was super fun to go down memory lane for a second. But, yeah, I think we in conclusion on here with Offensive Player of the Year, we're good with wherever it goes. We got some feelings about Puka. JSN's the favorite right now. As a fan, I personally, just as a Niner, I don't think CMC should get it. I watched him run all year. It was rough. And yes, part of that was the offensive line for sure. That at times that dude had nowhere to go. But the burst at the line was just not there. I don't know if he didn't trust the system or what, but he was a better receiver by far than running back this year. Touchdowns are there. You can say the numbers are there. The offense flowed through him and all that. But I just don't see him as that, holy cow, look what he did again.
But he's taking home another trophy for sure.
Oh, he's getting the other one. Yeah, the one that really matter, he's getting that one.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, moving on. We've got Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like this is another one that's very easy. I feel like the main conversation, honestly, was the one we just had. I feel all these other ones pretty much. And Coach of the year will be interesting too.
I'll
But
say-
Oh yeah, coach of the year is
Coach-
interesting.
Coach, yeah.
but
Yeah,
defensive player of the year, it is Miles Garrett.
Yeah.
Who
don't
cares
read it,
about
don't read
anyone
it,
else?
Matt. I don't.
What?
You might have the odds in front of you.
I do.
I want you guys to guess. They might be the same as what I had here, but this is the end of the regular season, like right after it happened. What do you guys think? And maybe Grant, maybe you can't answer because you have probably some of an idea of what this is. So, Grant, I'll start with you, and then we'll go to you, Brogan. What do you think the Miles Garrett betting odds for Defensive Player of the Year was?
And-
Minus 10 million. Like, I don't. Minus
And it's
20.
thousands.
Minus 20,000. Like, what? Who else
Okay.
is?
Yeah, Brogan.
I don't know who else is on the list. I'll be honest, because it doesn't matter. But anyway,
I think what they need to do, I think it's got to be like 50,000. Like legit,
It
like
was.
honestly,
it
what
was
I think
minus
they should do-
50,000. Yeah,
It was,
minus 50,000
yeah. Like
at the time. that I
honestly,
checked
At that
it.
time, yes.
the only race, the real race for Defensive Player of the Year should be first half of the season, Miles Garrett, and second half of the season. And even then,
Nope.
like,
Mhm.
like
It's
that's
close.
the race.
yeah.
Yeah,
It-
there's no way.
Who else is on the list? I legit don't know.
Uh,
That
Well,
could
this
be
is
more
what's a
fun.
bummer.
Hold on, Grant.
Will
Hold on.
Anderson.
Don't look.
yeah.
Oh, don't look. Okay.
Don't look. Take a couple. So this is what I'm going to give you guys. Every single person on the list is known for sacking the quarterback.
I know two of them just because I remembered looking at this, and I specifically said that Miles Garrett is minus 50,000, but it's cool that Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson are third and fourth on that list at the time.
I figured
just
because
because that
isn't
defense is awesome.
because it was Daniil Hunter second in sacks at like 17 or something.
I think didn't Anderson?
Or I thought
Yeah.
Daniil Hunter had more. I thought that
Wait,
It was that way.
Anderson was taking the double teams.
Yeah.
So that was the second quarterback. So Anderson and
else?
Hunter. How many are total? 5? So we got
On the actual counter, there's
or the
seven.
finalists. Oh,
7 that they did numbers on, and number 7 and
This-
number 1 are 50,000 apart on the final.
did TJ make it? Did he? I don't
No.
actually. I don't know how good of a season he had. I'll be honest.
No, his numbers dropped because of the injury stuff.
You said they're all pass rushers.
All of them known for it. Wouldn't say they're all
Oh.
defensive ends.
What's his name? Denver.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nick Benito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, that guy's
I-
I feel bad. I don't know if he might have a season like Garrett where he wins an award like this. But I feel like he's one of those guys that you're gonna look back on one day and be like, how did he never win a defensive player of the year? He's really good.
Yeah.
Like he's really,
Well,
really
because
good.
he's,
Did,
he's always going to have an offsetting guy. That's why. If
No.
Sean Payton's not sending one guy out there.
No.
did Aiden Hutchinson get a nom?
Hutchinson is number 7. You got the hard
Okay.
one.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Because I think he had 12 or 13 sacks, something like that. Like he had a good
when
year.
did what's his face?
There's one that didn't make the playoffs, one that did. That's all you guys are missing. You got the
When
other
did
5.
Micah Parsons go out with an injury? Because I don't know if he can make it. Depend like with how many games he maybe.
I
If
think
he's
he-
out with
I
enough,
think
he
he's
might
still-
have made it
I
anyway.
think
He's
he's
not
still
on the
got-
list.
He's not on
He's
the
not?
list.
Nope.
Because I think he ended up getting to 12 sacks, I think, or 11 or
Yeah, but he
something.
flatlined hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
Huh. I do see him on the NFL's website of this. I went to double check.
Yeah, I'm on closing odds from Vegas.
All right, so who do we got?
Sources Sports Illustrated.
So who is it? Who is the other one that we're
So
missing?
our other ones did not make the playoffs, and number 4 was Brian Burns.
Well,
Did make the playoffs. At number 6 was Jared Verse.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both make sense. Burns would have done better if his team did better, but
the finalists,
Is what it
though,
is.
not the betting odds. It's Anderson, Benito, Garrett, Hutchinson, and
The-
Parsons.
and the close on the gap was 35,000, by the way. So Garrett at minus 20, and then Anderson and Hunter actually tied at plus 15,000.
Dang.
But
Yep,
They
on
put-
that. That's one of those that
NFL.com
can't.
has
We've
Micah
seen that
Parsons in
before.
there. I don't know about that.
We've seen that before where you have those the teammates that cancel each other out. We were talking about that for that MVP award a couple of years ago for the Niners with the Brock Purdy year and with CMC. It does kind of happen. It's going to leave them down there a little bit, but that's a runaway. Our next one, I'm assuming, would be MVP.
no, we've got comeback player of the year, CMC.
That's over. yep.
Yeah, CMC will win that.
CMC.
And then
Who
we've
else
got
would even be up for that?
Shout out Stefan Diggs would probably be in my top 3 consideration.
Uncle
NFL
Phil's got to
again.
be up there.
dude.
Phil
I wish.
If
No,
Joe
so-
Flacco
Not
can win it a
on-
couple years ago, Phillip Rivers has got to be top 5.
I'm pretty sure Flacco was on it again this year.
No, it's so I'm looking at.
NFL.com has Stephon, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, CMC,
Oh.
and Dak.
Hutch makes a lot
Oh,
of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hutch had 14 and a half sacks. That's a great
Yeah.
year. That's
I'd put Hutch over everybody else.
I'm gonna be honest.
Tre-
This award bugs me
we hate it.
ever since the guy that died on the field didn't win it.
Bingo.
and also there's still
Of the
no
conversation.
definition. There's still no definition of what the comeback means. Is it comeback from injury? That's what it
Geno
was.
won it
That was
when he
that's what
just
it was up until Geno won it in 20.
When we
whatever.
had the longest argument of all time because Grant wouldn't shut his stupid mouth.
Yeah, that's right. He's an award-winning quarterback, my friend.
He's gonna be on the bench making $30 million for the Raiders next year, is what
That
he
is
is.
true. That is true.
He's used to being on the bench though. He'll be fine.
But yeah, they still don't have definitions for what this means.
Yeah.
Like clearly it should be injury, like, and not just coming back from being bad.
Yeah.
Because
This is the first year in a minute where it actually feels like that's actually the case. Stephon,
Yeah.
Hutchinson,
Alex
Lawrence,
Smith was
McCaffrey.
the last one.
They should name the award after Alex Smith. That's what they should do. They should.
Absolutely.
It should be the Alex Smith Comeback Player of the Year award.
We said
100%.
that.
And the
when it
trophy's a little like crooked and looks. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
yeah,
he needs.
let's
He
not
absolutely.
use the X-ray.
Looks
as
like-
the-
looks like a shark
the
bite.
trophy
Yeah.
image.
No, it absolutely needs to be named after him
Yes.
because him to come back and step foot and take a snap in the NFL after the Theismann injury is just
The
Let
necrotic
alone have a
flesh
good
comeback
year.
Player of the Year award
Yeah.
presented by Alex Smith.
yeah, dude.
Seriously, like it needs to be the Alex Smith comeback player of the year. I'm 100% on it.
All right, we've got
Let's
Coach
get
of the
to it.
Year and MVP.
Let's go MVP because Coach of the Year is where we want to wrap this. I think the conversation was pretty clear for a while, depending on what week and how many interceptions somebody threw. This was Drake May and Matthew Stafford till it wasn't. And I think it became really clear in the last couple of weeks of the regular season that Matthew Stafford was just out there making you feel bad about the way you play football. And I 100% this is the Matthew Stafford year for this MVP. I don't think there's a conversation to be had. That's no disrespect to Drake May. He's going to have his time. I truly believe that. Special dude, got a great defense, and I'm cheering for him on Sunday. But legit, no competition here, right, boys?
No, there was like a couple weeks there where we had conversations like Stafford plays another game like that, May might make some ground because there was like a couple weeks there where it looked a little sketch, but then Drake May then decided to take that role and play some some stinkers at the end of the season. And honestly, it's a league of what have you done for me lately? And to end strong, I think that kind of lays that to rest where there was a conversation. But yeah, it's Stafford.
When you've got a run where the Seahawks defense is making everybody look stupid, and then Stafford lights them up, and then the next week they still go back to making everyone look stupid. Okay. And he did that twice. I know they don't count the playoffs and their votes are in, but if you look at the conference championship game, the defense is, we can't do anything against this guy.
It literally became who just could just have the ball last and
he's
make.
just
Yeah.
making, he's
That's
just
what-
making hero throws
Yeah.
all season long, basically, and then especially in those Seattle games, he's
Yeah.
just like,
It was
doing the whole like looking off because that was the only way that you're going to create
Yeah.
a window against a team that
he
good.
threw
and-
for in the Thursday night game 460 yards and 3 touchdowns. 100. That was when
No
the
pick six.
Seahawks defense was playing the best, like
Yeah.
blanking
Yes.
teams
in
at that point.
Seattle on a
Yeah,
short
dude.
week. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
It was-
Devontae Adams.
And he was
So-
doing it with bad field position
Yeah.
because the Seahawks do a great job of pinning you back.
Yeah, no,
One of the
yeah,
best
that's right.
coverage
And
teams
no
in the NFL.
Devontae Adams.
Dude, he's sitting
That
there
game.
going 80, 90 yards down the field, just
Yeah.
embarrassing in the short throw, and dissecting. There is nobody that does the no look better than that guy. It's ridiculous.
Also, if you're a tight end, you have got to get to the Rams.
Cheers.
He's making. I was watching and I'm like, that's the 9th white tight end that's out there that's catching balls. Who are these guys? And they're all like living their best life. Sarah
Yep.
walked in the conference championship game. She goes, "Oh my gosh, Brogan, there's only 20 seconds left." I was like, "Game is not over."
No.
Matthew Stafford has the ball in his hands.
Yes.
They have the whole field to go. I'm like, it's only 80 yards. Like, it is not that much.
Yeah, dude. No, I literally at one point I was as youth group and I was preaching. I stopped preaching to pull this part up. Like, please, everybody, start praying. And then it ended up working out our way. But dude, he on another level.
Yeah.
Like it's almost 5,000. Yeah, he had 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Okay, hold on, Grant. What was on the line? All right, this is what I want to know. As we had some career people involved in what we all do, okay? And every person that's on here, big chunk of their lives spent in the realm of ministry. What's on the line for those kids if it doesn't go your way?
Oh,
what's that altar call? You know what I'm saying, dude?
I'm great at There's been times where I've experienced
Book of Revelation here. Like
I've experienced some heartbreak at doing my job in sports before, so I would have been, dang.
Put the word of God in you.
No,
yeah. Unfortunately, you already had that experience like earlier this year, like a few months back. And
yeah, no, it's if I was in front of doing my job, I'd be like, dang, that sucks. All right, anyway, like you just gotta.
That Cam Newton gif where he on the sidelines got like the towel over his head.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much how that would have gone. But yeah, dude.
And then you go on the carnivore diet for 2 weeks. So
yeah,
feel like you can lock in.
Yeah. So
I was legit doing it. I asked that because I was doing announcements with my crew. I have a young adult crew that I'm with on Sunday nights, and I was doing the announcements when the game went final. So I was literally like, hey, guys, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a Super Bowl party, and the Seahawks will be playing the Patriots. Like, I literally saw it go final as I was doing that. And before I got done with announcements, my guy, Tyler, that two of you, walks up to me and goes, he puts his hand on my shoulder. I'm trying to lead the group, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, are you okay, brother? You going to be all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about? And he's like, we know you didn't want to see the Seahawks at the Super Bowl. And I'm like, Tyler, you're right. Never mind. Yeah, maybe I need a second before we keep going. No, it was just really funny. Everybody knows how that affects us. Those poor children, dude. I'm just saying, you can't tell me that I'm going to be nice. In that scenario, I'm not going to be nice.
Yeah, I've already, obviously, kind of alluded to it, like, we're doing a youth group Super Bowl party. I've already briefed my leaders that I'm of no help. Like, they're setting up all of it. I'm like,
you're doing it.
And I'm like, I'm there to watch every snap and every play and every moment. If students have questions, I'm sending them to you guys. You guys have to understand.
Wait. Grant, let's be real, though. You'll be at help during halftime.
Yeah, during halftime. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
We always do games and competitions during halftime.
Third quarter.
I would love for it to be Seahawks have it in the bag by halftime. Then I can just hang out, whatever. But it's probably not going to happen, of course. The thing I would want. Anyway,
Jameson was going to make some remarks, something about what a loser that's not going to be in a basement with two people watching this game that Grant is 100%.
Yeah, I might be more locked in to watch the Super Bowl than Grant is to watch his own team in the Super Bowl, and that I think says a lot about the integrity of his takes.
Get out of here, bro. No, dude, I'm watching it. I'm gonna be watching on the biggest screen. Okay, we're taking over our big screen.
Which,
all right?
Yeah, Jameson, you cannot talk any trash about that because we know that you have taken that exact same screen to go watch your teams play key matchups and have enjoyed every moment.
No, I legit will help set up, but when it starts, I'm sitting down and watching the entire thing as locked in as I can be, and I will tell students to leave me alone.
There's one 18-year-old dude that you should not let anywhere near you during that game.
No.
Yeah, we should contact his supervisor and tell him to make him go clean toilets somewhere. Anyway,
so Matthew Stafford,
our last one.
Yeah, MVP Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford. Yeah.
Unless you have anything to say, Jameson, it's your boy.
Yeah, I do want to say, one, didn't see it coming. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, but hopefully by the time that this has been posted, we will also be shortly followed by the announcement that he's the MVP. I do think he's truly the MVP. Drake May has been fantastic. He's probably been like my second or third favorite quarterback to watch this season. Just love how he throws the ball. But again, these are oftentimes narrative-driven awards, and Matthew Stafford has been around. He's your quarterback's favorite quarterback, and he went out there and was slinging that thing around. Still, like the tape, the stats, the wins, the division, the postseason stuff, which obviously doesn't count, but it like validates that selection.
Sure.
And sometimes the narrative, or what gets lost in this narrative as well, is Matthew Stafford set the NFL record for most touchdown passes thrown without an interception passing Tom Brady this year. He had 28 in a row, and that kind of gets lost in the shuffle because they ended up losing that game to Carolina the same week he did it, where he threw a no-looker on a slant to get that record. So that also, I think, means a lot this year. You don't usually see Tom Brady records get broken anymore. So there's one. But yeah, I'm stoked, obviously, on the Matthew Stafford thing. But whenever that award does hit and it says Matthew Stafford MVP, and then my team is not in the Super Bowl, and I'm like, damn, we just wasted a Matthew Stafford MVP year. Who knows how much more of juice is left? That will sting maybe a little extra.
But Jameson, right before the season started, is he even going to play?
Oh, I was already like, I don't know how real this is. Even after the first few weeks, I was like, okay, what's up with this Eagles game that we just blew here? And Matthew Stafford looked great. Like, he might not have many of those games left. And then obviously he had lots of those games left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, after last year losing to the Eagles, I was really disappointed because I was like, man, we're running out of time. And here we go going into the season. Matthew Stafford, his back might be broken.
He's in like a cryo chamber every day.
Yeah.
Which
Worked out.
that Eagles game last year, after watching the rest of the playoffs, that really was the Super Bowl. I think the Rams would have done what the Eagles did to everybody else. So if the Seahawks win this year, last week could have been the Super Bowl. Hey, losing to the Super Bowl champ 2 years in a row, Jameson, at least you're not stressing this week. Dude,
I know.
relaxing.
It's the gift and the curse.
What we'd give to stress.
What's that?
I want the stress.
That's what makes it like when Cooper Kupp catches a game-winning touchdown in a Super Bowl. That's what makes that whole season is like the stress of it versus a blowout game, which is okay, cool, we won, but it's the roller coaster that you want. And unfortunately, this roller coaster, I got to the end and my seatbelt came undone, and I like ejecto-cetoed out of the front.
Plummeted.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so last up, we got Coach of the Year. This one, to me, I feel similar with Offensive Player of the Year, where it's like, what narrative is going to, like, where are they going to go? I know the favorite is probably Vrabel with the turnaround there, but there's a lot of great turnarounds. Liam Cohen, that turnaround's crazy. We've been seeing that one, them winning in different ways, showed how great he did in putting together a staff, and that defense became real. Obviously, we got Shanahan and what he did with the Niners and being in the dance at all, winning 12 games in that division with their 5th, 6th, 7th string linebackers at one point. Ben Johnson became the hero that Chicago's been desperate for, I feel pretty much since I've been a fan of football. So and then you got Mike McDonald winning the division, and you got both the Super Bowl coaches in there. I don't know. Like, I know the favorite's Vrabel, and that's probably what it'll be. Because you go from 4 games to 14, that's 10 games. That's a larger turnaround than Liam Cohen with the Jaguars in terms of one season to the next. Because I think there was a 9-game flip for the Jaguars, and it was 10-game flip for the Patriots. And that team, the Patriots team, is just super well coached. I don't know. What do you guys think?
And the Bears have like some guys, whereas the Patriots, you don't really look. The Patriots don't have like notable names. So playing into the Vrabel like narrative, the Bears, you've got like Caleb Williams. The Jaguars, like you can name guys. The Patriots, it's Stephon Diggs off of an injury, but I'll just tell you my vote. I don't know how Shanahan, after all the injuries, including quarterback, as they're winning, guys are dropping. That like the coaching that he's done has been incredible this year. Like, it's hard for me to not just say it's Shanahan, because to me, if you're looking at coach, turnaround helps, but like with McDonald, you can easily say Clint Kubiak helped with that. With Vrabel, you could easily say Josh McDaniel helped with that. And Shanahan has cycled through so many assistant coaches. I think it's hard to not look at what he's done this year and how consistent he's kept this team with so many guys in and out of the lineup. So
I was going to go off of what you just said there too, Brogan. Like, Ben Johnson had a miracle worker at the end of games, quite literally. He won them 4 games on last play, last drive. That was incredible. For me, McDonald had already built this program, and one of the things that's hard for me is that we automatically go to turnaround. And I'm not saying that +10 and +9 are not significant, because they absolutely are. But watch McDonald build the program in 2 years. Identify what he needs to be successful, go get it, be willing to move on from a $30 million quarterback or $25 million quarterback and just say, hey, that's not us. That doesn't work for where we're headed. But still, by the way, got his team right there to the brink of the playoffs last season and had a double-digit win season. I think McDonald is every bit as impressive as Vrabel when you look at how he's coaching. That is, in my mind, the Seahawks are the more complete team for sure. When you look at the Patriots and the Seahawks in this Super Bowl, we watched the Super Bowl in my mind this last week in the Rams and the Seahawks. I think that's the best version of a matchup we're going to get here at the end of the season. Dude, like some of these guys had these like last minute helpers that got it done. And I'll say the same thing. Bo Nix was impressive as crap. That was unreal. Same type of thing that we saw in Chicago. So you got to give credit to guys who build programs and who are winning. It was like we were all sitting there saying this for years. Why doesn't Belichick just win it every year? Like, he's the best coach out there. They're probably going to give it to the best turnaround. So they're probably going to give it to Vrabel. And I'm not saying that's not deserved, but I think you could hand out 3 of them and feel really good about it between Vrabel, McDonald, and Cohen, or Vrabel, McDonald, and Shanahan. Shanahan made the most out of the least. And to have George Kittle go down in that game against the Eagles and for the 49ers to get that win, that's about as good as it gets in the world of coaching, knowing as a fan what George Kittle is to that team. And I'm not just talking about, the heart and all that stuff that we like to talk about as fans, like the actual physical presence he brings to the run game, and then the fact that he can dual threat you and go downfield and spread out your secondary, and then making that adjustment in game and getting Brock to the place where he could do that drive in the fourth quarter and make it happen. Unreal, dude. Yeah, I totally agree. But this is 3 awards we could hand out. It's the same thing as the Offensive Player of the Year. Give it to all of them. Like, genuinely, great season, guys.
And I think, too, Brogan, I said this a couple weeks ago, like, on the Seahawks side, like, to me, the guy who is the reason they're where they're at is the GM, and it's John Schneider. Getting rid of your quarterback, getting rid of, like, clearing house in your wide receivers, your 1 and 2 wide receivers, and Lockett and Metcalf, getting rid of your quarterback, like signing Cooper Kupp, signing DeMarcus Lawrence, signing Sam Darnold. Like, those are all things that a GM does. And yeah, a head coach has say in that, but John Schneider's the reason that he won Executive of the Year because of that. And so to me, I go
hitting draft picks since 2021, 2022.
Yeah,
hasn't missed, bro.
Yeah, he has. So like, yes, you have to put the product on the field, and that is what the head coach is responsible for. But to make the decisions that they did and hit on all of them and make the moves when they did, and turning DK Metcalf into a potential defensive rookie of the year, like all those things, like that's the GM. That's not the coach. The coach is given the tools, and they hand a grocery list to the GM, but it's the GM that has to go and buy the groceries and actually put it together. And so to me, I think it's going to be Vrabel, Cohen, or Shanahan. I think one of those.
Yeah, and I think it should be Shanahan personally.
I do too.
know I've said it before many times on this show this season, but like, one, it's weird that he's never actually won a Coach of the Year award, because I think year in and year out, if you're building a little ballot of who the best coaches are, like, he's going to be a name that's in that rotation basically every year. And the only time we get a bad taste in our mouth is like a playoff thing, which obviously doesn't mean anything for this award, or maybe just the way he like overuses certain players in certain spots, and then you're like, what's with the injury? Why can't we split carries? But at the end of the day,
every coach has their warts too.
Like this, and he's been coaching like guys off of the street since the beginning of the season, basically at certain positions, and they were fighting legitimately for the 1 seed. Like, there are obviously places where you can talk about how, they have a coach and a quarterback or a coordinator, and they're elevating each other in these different ways. And this is like the exact opposite of that, where you're literally saying the coach is elevating the play of the roster because the players aren't there to elevate the roster right now. And you could still win the 1 seed, and you are still in the playoffs, and you still won a playoff game. To me, that is like the best coaching job the entire year, and it's not particularly close for me. So I hope he wins, but I do think like Liam Cohen is in that mix. Funny stat I saw while I'm here real quick. He had the second highest single season win percentage in franchise history, only behind Tom Coughlin in 1999.
Oh, wow.
Showed
That
up
was
and
very
showed
good.
up and did that. Trevor Lawrence all of a sudden was a top 5 MVP candidate. So
Yeah.
there's that. But again, you can say they have some awesome players. That maybe you help set a baseline and then set guys up for success. But Shanahan, again, I think was just like pulling victories from the jaws of defeat all season long.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
kudos
it's
to
the
him.
exact opposite of McDonald. McDonald shows up this year and Schneider's, I found some toys. Like, look, like here's a safety that is insane and stuff. And I feel like it's the exact opposite. Shanahan shows up and Lynch is like, so he has never been hurt before. I found him at Costco, but he's ready to go right now. Shanahan's like, dope. What side of the ball? And Lynch is like, oh, we haven't gotten there yet. Just throw some pads on him. He's ready to go.
Yeah,
It's
when you get
literally
you get grounded from video games, and so all you have left is like books. It's
it's
like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
This guy played special teams for the Bucks 3 years ago. He's going to be your leading tackler in
Yeah.
week 16.
This guy
Yeah.
bagged my groceries and he says he plays Madden. You want him?
Yeah.
literally.
The answer is yes. And the funny part is what I said was not a joke. There was
Yeah.
literally a guy that led our team in tackles in week 16 who hadn't played special teams and had less than 10 tackles in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun. I do appreciate that as we are in this last week of the NFL season, the love that's being given. I also appreciate that Brogan reads my thoughts that are clear on my face when people are talking. We've sat together in way too many meetings. He's getting really good at reading my subtleties. But dude, I think one of the cool things about all this is this conversation shows a lot about who the players that we love and who we really appreciate. We talked a little bit about our biases a little bit ago. We were discussing like our offensive player of the year, MVP candidates, all that stuff. But who is your favorite player this season, from this season,
Dang
that
it.
was not on your team's roster? I swear to you, if you're going to say Phillip Rivers, I swear to you.
No. I can't,
Who is your favorite player from this season not on your team?
Brogan did it, man. It's always Jameis. It's always gonna be Jameis Winston, dude. He showed up for a game wearing 19 for the Giants. And like the Jameis experience had some crazy throws, and then they have a chance to win it against the Lions, and then throws the most horrific pick like ever. And you're like, what are you looking at, dude? Like just the
know.
most frustrating thing. And just that one game, he did the whole like shooting dice dance when he ran for that. Oh, he had to have that crazy run for the touchdown. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
He caught it. He caught a pass
he
and
caught
then
it.
Yes,
The corner
that's what
to
it
the
was.
out.
And stiff armed a guy into the ground for that touchdown. Yeah, I know it's well documented my adoration for that man, but that's instantly the first one that comes to my mind who's not on my team, and I want him on my team so bad as a backup.
Yes.
I will buy every jersey. I'll buy the color rush. I'll buy the alternate. I'll buy the basic one. I'll buy the throwback. I'll buy every jersey for him. I'll get a signed autograph. Oh, that's what I
Could
want.
you imagine Kyle Shanahan explaining his offense to Jameis
Oh.
Winston?
I think James would be like, "That's great, coach. I'm just gonna play ball. That sounds great,
I'm
man."
going to do what the good Lord tells me to do.
yeah.
And he,
But with the George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, Jameis would walk out there. Kyle would be given some call, and Jameis would be like, "No, here's the deal. You're gonna do this, okay? You just go. Here we go." Like,
he's gonna do what we do when we play pickup football, and like
seriously.
on the seams, be like, "All right, this is the line of scrimmage. And you're gonna go up
Now,
like that. You're gonna
Shit,
like
I've seen your
that."
Instagram. I know you love Jesus. I'm going to. You remember what Moses did at the Red Sea, right? We're going to do that right now. Okay.
Yeah, so I probably just gotta go. That's my favorite play of the year. Has got to be the Jameson centric stiff arm
Yeah.
play. That's awesome. So
He would have the Niners, how they walk out with music. He'd be like,
Oh.
"Oh, put on that Kirk Franklin
yeah, yeah.
Do you want to?
Revelation, chapter 20."
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Jameson, your favorite player not on your team.
See, that's tough because my quarterback was probably MVP and my receiver was maybe offensive player of the year. So it's like, ooh, those are also two that are really fun to watch. I will say this. I know he had an up and down year, but whenever he was hitting, Jahmyr Gibbs is must-see TV for me still.
Yeah.
It was really annoying being a guillotine fantasy owner of him because it was like 3 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, and of course the 0 hit when I was in the finals of my guillotine league. But that dude, he's lightning in a bottle, and it's very clear he's like taking over that backfield now with Montgomery like taking a slight step back this season. But I would say overall, like that is probably like JSN is obviously up there as well. It was really tough this year for receivers, honestly, because the normal guys like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like those kinds of guys were just not like in those conversations this year, unfortunately, because of their team situation and their quarterback situation. So yeah, ultimately I'd probably say Jahmyr Gibbs. He looks faster than everybody. He looks like a cheat code. So you catch him on the right day, you're like, this guy's the best player in football. He had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Lions missed the playoffs, but still fun watching.
I would just say real quick, the one that actually is a more serious one, not like my one that's a running joke. I loved watching Derrick Henry, like just the aging like fine wine. Just you keep thinking this is the year, man, it's gonna fall off. The wheels are gonna fall off the wagon, and they just don't. He had like 1,600 yards rushing this year, like 12 touchdowns or whatever. And again, like I said before, he's like the last great running back that plays that way. Like we'll never see a running back play like him. So that's probably my true favorite player this year to watch.
Let's go, Brogan.
I feel like mine's cheating because he spent most of his career at the Seahawks. Bobby Wagner has always been one of my favorite guys to watch.
Rams legend, right, Jameson?
Yeah, Rams legend Bobby Wagner.
I love watching guys where it's like he's just smarter than everybody. Like I don't remember. I don't know his exact stats from this year, but he was still like one of the league leaders in tackles for, I think it was just solo tackles or something. And he's like in his mid 30s, and you're like, how is he still doing? He's just smarter, and he's still strong. But so I love him. And then I don't know why. I don't know why I like watching this guy, because I am so not like this guy. I love Joe Burrow. I don't know why I love watching, but I love watching Joe Burrow. I love watching him in his interviews. Like, especially toward the end of the year, he was giving a lot of Marshawn Lynch, just, bro, I want to be everywhere else but this interview right now. And he's the guy that I'm like, I really hope one day he gets traded and he like gets his Super Bowl win, because I think he's really good, but I just love watching him because he just makes some ridiculous throws, and he's a little bit more of a classic quarterback where he gets destroyed, but he's throwing the ball really well.
Yeah,
I think
pocket
Joe
guy.
Burrow is probably one of my favorites.
I have three quick ones. Cam Skadoo is absolute must watch.
Oh yeah,
he was on my short list. Yeah,
100%. If he is playing a football game, you must watch that football game. If he is talking to a camera, you must watch whatever.
He's streaming. He like streaming now.
It's like a little bit of, it's a little Gronkish.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Pretty accurate.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Gronk might be the smarter one in that scenario.
Shockingly.
I mean,
Yeah.
shockingly,
Yeah.
real good with money. Got to give Gronk that one. Didn't spend any of those NFL dollars while he was playing. But no, I love him. I love Sewell. I love Panay.
Yeah.
That to me is like when you talk about offensive linemen just being everything that anybody could ever handle. Sewell is the guy. I just love seeing his highlights, dude. That's pancakes all day. And then lastly, I know we talked about him already a lot today, but he's not on my team. Puka is a human highlight reel, and that's no slight to any other receiver in the NFL. That guy's just different. It's just different. And there isn't a catch he can't make, and he just punches you in the face, steals the ball, runs away, does whatever he wants, and it's just crazy. He is in it right now, and it's really cool to see him in the window that he's in. But those are my three, and I was watching all those highlights all the time. I literally look for those guys.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm watching everything that Jameis does, but that's usually not on a football field. I'm about it.
I'm really bummed he's not like a correspondent this year. Like it's my team. He could be chatting it up with my team, doing this whole like interviews and like interjecting of like their media press conferences and stuff like that. Why he's not that this year, I have no idea.
Look,
but
if Cam Newton can get on TV,
Dude.
Jameis Winston is going to be phenomenal. And we are he's not going away. All right. Like he is not.
No.
They're going to make him a part of conversation. I love that they brought him on for those pregame shows on Fox and stuff, dude. Yes. Just put a microphone in front of him. It doesn't matter. It's going to be great. But
It feels like Anchorman when he's on TV.
Yeah.
he will say whatever you put on that
Yes.
screen.
Exactly.
No,
Yes.
the opposite is true. He will say nothing that you ask him to. Like, legitimately, he's not even going to keep the conversation. As we're going into it, Super Bowl party is becoming the conversation. We've got Super Bowl weekend. We're going to get to our score predictions in just a moment and hit it. But before we do, last week, Brogan, we got to talk about our favorite dishes for our Super Bowl parties. Now, you guys wouldn't know this, and I'll let Brogan explain, but there are certain things that we enjoy at our parties that Brogan does not get to enjoy, and I am so sad for him.
Correct. So
Right.
actually, Matt, I made 2 lists.
Oh,
because of
okay.
that. Ready?
Okay.
So I have food allergies, dairy free, bad dairy though. I'm not like, I don't want to call out a friend of mine who Matt and I work with who says
Oh,
he's
it's fine.
allergic to
We've said his
dairy.
name out loud on here before.
Yeah, so Damian Dunn doesn't have a dairy allergy.
So baiting
Just
to
have
say
it-
people's names.
Yeah, he just has a little bit of tummy issues when he eats dairy. I like legitimately my body shuts down, so I can't do dairy, can't do onions, can't do garlic, and then pineapple. But that's not that one's just weird. So I have all of these allergies kicked in like my early to mid 20s. So I have a pre-allergy one. I come from an Italian family. My dad or grandma or whoever would make like homemade lasagna on the Super Bowl. It was awesome. It was so good. And it was just a bunch of cheese, meat, and stuff. And then my grandma would make these like real mini sausages in like sauce. And it was basically just garlic and barbecue sauce with like
Smokies.
onions. Yeah, Smokies. Bomb. Love that. Love those. And now I cannot eat any of that. Sarah is real good at making homemade pizza. And so that's what we're going to do. Because I told her, she's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, Super Bowl has to be like, it's not, if I see a veggie tray, I'm mad. The only veggies are allowed is the box you get from the wing company of the celery and carrots. And that just goes, you put that to the side.
Yep.
That's it. That's the only veggies that should be allowed. No salad. No, come on. No salad. But sliders, tacos, love that. I was at a Super Bowl party one time that had shrimp cocktail, and I was like, no. It was I'm gonna be real, y'all. It was actually real good. Like it was real good.
I'm a shrimp cocktail believer, my friend.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
I am.
Now, it ain't gonna be at mine. That ain't in my budget. But I was like, hey, that was good. But no, I'm pizza, sliders. I don't want a lot of the snack food. I want like heavier main course type things.
Wow.
I am not a chips. I'm not a chips and dip guy. I'm not a chips and salsa guy.
Not a popular take on this podcast.
Yeah,
No,
I am not.
We literally talked about last week that it's like Thanksgiving. It's like a sides dominated like thing
Yes.
for us.
It is.
Wow.
I skip sides. I'd rather have dessert than the sides. Like I'll go sliders straight into some cookies and I'll skip the chips.
I think I forego desserts altogether for the Super Bowl. And
So-
I'm just like, give me savory the whole way through, basically.
Yeah, no, it's safe. It's got to be the savory, but no, I'll go to the sweets over like a bag of Lay's. Nah, I'm good, dude. Give me a cookie. Give me a brownie.
Dude, okay. But we're not in agreement here. We're not. But you are the guy that we want to watch football with because we're going to get all the stuff that we want.
All of it.
Because
Yeah.
when you invite
There's
your
no
friends
misses.
over and they're just grabbing, those chips go quick.
Uh-huh.
That chili dip is gone. Salsa is forget about it. Like it's out. Legit, like all that stuff goes so fast. And you're like, gosh dang, I barely got one plate of that. And then you got to go figure out what you're going to do and make do sometimes with that, especially if you're in like those bigger group settings. But Rogan can come hang out with us anytime because he's just going to eat all the stuff that we're not aiming for.
Yeah,
Legit,
absolutely.
dude.
Yes.
You are the yang right now. Let's be about it. Also salads are for Mondays, kids. All right,
Yes.
like salads are for
That's
Mondays.
a recovery.
100%.
That's a recovery meal.
We're loading up and then doing the right thing the next day. Okay, that's what they're
Yeah,
for.
Super Bowl, by the way, this doesn't get talked about enough. Monday morning after the Super Bowl, you wake up, you have a cup of coffee, something light, maybe some fruit for breakfast, or maybe you just skip breakfast altogether, which is usually what I do because I just stuffed my face with carbs and buffalo sauce the night before, and then you glide in. You have the late
Glide
lunch
in.
salad, and then you reset yourself by dinner. It's that easy. You can get right back to eating whatever you want.
I'm gonna be honest. It's usually a roll. Like that Monday morning
Well,
feels like a roll, brother.
That's the strat. That's the strat. You just gotta don't
And
don't feel like you gotta take the whole week off. You just gotta start light, and then you get right back to it.
it's been a topic discussed for years now that the Monday after the Super Bowl needs to be a holiday.
Right.
Absolutely.
be.
Like,
Stupid.
also, it's just
Federal.
it becomes like no matter what happens on Sunday, like obviously my team, there'll be an element of me that will be sad either because my team doesn't win, but also because football's done. Like you're just there comes a moment where you're just like, oh
Yeah.
dang, there's
But
no
if your
more
team
football.
wins, you should be able to wake up at 10 a.m. on a Monday and just immediately put something on the grill and be like,
Oh,
yeah,
it's a holiday.
yeah, that's
then
right.
salads are
I'm
for
putting something on the
Thursday,
grill.
bro.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
going to
oh
work.
for sure.
Or if you wake up and your team lost, you're also putting something on the grill.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're trying to hunker down and not have any human contact for
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who's had that experience recently, I will say you tell your wife right afterwards, which she knows. She's a good wife. She loves you. She's, hey, you don't need to say it. I'm going to take the kids. We're going to go to mom's house. You have some alone time. Go destroy some 8-year-olds on video games. I'm taking all of anything that could kill you is coming in the car with me. And we're going to go get a couple mattresses and surround you with them.
Oh my
And,
God.
Wrap you in bubble wrap.
yeah, and don't worry, I'll say goodbye to your friends that drove 3 hours to be here, and you don't need to say anything to them. They understand too. It's very much so appreciated when you have a good wife that can take care of you after a tragedy like that.
Yeah.
But she knows what she's in for the next couple of days, and that's part of the reason you get married, boys. I'm just saying the support that you get after a Super Bowl loss is can be phenomenal, and it brings couples together. That's really why I think God
Cowboys
allowed it
fans
to
can
happen to me
relate.
3 times.
Yeah, Cowboys fans cannot relate. That is,
We
yeah,
cannot. We have a really strong marriage. If your team is either really good or never makes it to the Super Bowl, then your marriage probably sucks. All right, that's what I'm trying to say.
with the heartbreak I experienced with my Mariners, there was a couple times, like throughout the last 3 days afterwards, I'm just like, there's a couple times where I literally verbally was like, dang man, and Chris would be like, she'd be like, Mariners, and I'm like, yeah, like there's it would just hit me, and I'd be like, man, I'm like cooking dinner, I'm sitting at the dinner table, we're eating food, I'm just like, oh gosh, dang it.
I had learned when the Seahawks lost to the Patriots, I had made the mistake of I was going to go to a party with college friends that were all football fans, but I was guilt tripped by a family member to go to an extended family one, and ball's intercepted, and I'm sitting there, and it was the moment of, I don't know if life's real. Have I ever even existed? It was just one of those moments. And I feel a pat on the back, and they're like, you know what? At least they got this close.
Dude, that's not
And
how...
I was literally like, no. At least last year, if I was a Broncos fan the year before, I'm getting out before traffic's here. Like, I don't even have that excuse. I was like, and so literally since then, I have shut myself off. I'm like, no family. Like, it's just
Have to.
I would, yeah, in a situation like that, I would have much rather that Super Bowl have been a blowout and the Patriots just stomp them and smoke them.
You forget. You move on.
You can disconnect so quick. Like when you know what's coming and you see it and you're like, okay, yeah, all right, bummer.
all right, cool.
But when it's that, dude, it's so painful.
When your team loses 3 of them, maybe on the last drive in a row, it's pretty awful. It sucks.
Yeah.
Matt, the Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl Niners against the Chiefs, when the ball was just right out of the hands of the receiver. Next day we had staff meeting. I'm sitting there, and I know I'm being quiet. That hurts. Someone walks in and goes, "Oh!" And I was like, "What? Why?" It actually would be less offensive to just punch his grandmother. Do not say that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The only thing worse he could have done was fallen over and grabbed his Achilles. That's the only thing he could have done that was worse.
Yeah.
That would have been so funny walking. Oh,
yeah. man.
We're gonna jump into guessing our prediction or doing our predictions for this week. We're gonna start off with us and the four of us on here, and then I'll update some scores from our guests that have been picking alongside Brogan in our playoff challenge. But I'm gonna hand it over to Grant to get us started.
Yeah, man, picking the Super Bowl. I've seen some fascinating takes over the last week, like just some interesting things. I've seen, Brogan, have you seen the guy from Barstool who's like a Patriots fan? And he's, dude, if you take away the NFC West division, like the Seahawks haven't really played anybody.
Yes.
Have you seen that take? And I'm just like,
Yes.
okay, yeah. So dude, if you take away like the Raiders' losses, they actually didn't lose any games this year. Like that's like on that level. So,
Also, good job on beating the Jets.
yeah. So obviously the Seahawks opened up at 4.5-point favorites in this game. I think clearly, like we've talked about, seems like the Super Bowl was the NFC Championship game. The Rams and Seahawks have been the number 1, number 2 throughout the season, flip-flopping that. I don't want to come across as arrogant or that another thing, but like before I say like my score or whatever, I would not be surprised if the Seahawks come in and just handle business and it's over real quick. Just based on what they've done throughout the season, what the Patriots have done throughout the season. The only thing that gives me pause is to say it's not, and these teams are good, and obviously they're great. They earned to be here. I think that for both teams, to get to this point, you have to have earned it. Like, even if you question some of the competition, the level of competition, some of the quarterbacks play, the thing that gives me pause that I am nervous about is that the Patriots have gotten here and Drake May has not played good. That's where I go with this. The fact that they're in the Super Bowl and Drake May has actually laid up some stinkers has me concerned. So, man, if this guy turns it on, we got a game. And because they've played pretty much like in this playoff run, they will have played like pretty much the top 5 defenses in the league in total. Like the Chargers have a real good defense. The Texans were like number 1, number 2, 1A, 1B all season. The Broncos were probably the 3rd best defense in the league. And then they're playing the 1st or 2nd best defense in the league in this playoffs. And they've found ways to do it. Now, it hasn't been ugly, but as we talked about before, when I think when the Rams beat the Patriots, you'll take the ugly wins, man. A win is a win. Come playoffs, you don't really care how you get them. And here, you definitely don't care because it's all about who has the most points at the end of the day when it hits 0. And so that's where I'm at, where I'm feeling. I've got some stats or whatever, and not to undermine what I just said, but if you do look at some of this competition here, like for the Patriots, the quarterbacks they've played 21 quarterbacks this year. 21 of them, obviously some guys coming in for injuries sometimes, things like that. They've played Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, Brady Cook, Lamar Jackson for 10 passes, Tyler Huntley, Josh Allen twice, but then it's Jackson Dart, it's Joe Flacco, it's Jake Browning, it's Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield in November, which was not good, Michael Penix, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Spencer Rattler, Andy Dalton, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Geno. That's not great competition. It's not. Like, that is not a quarterback gauntlet.
I saw something that like 11 of the games that they played were against teams that fired their coach, and that doesn't also include the games they played against the Jets. So,
like, I don't
13 games right there.
I don't want to.
You play the Jets or a team that fired their quarterback,
and
there's
like
17 games in a regular season.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the guy that just comes here because the Patriots can win this game. Like, absolutely, it's any given Sunday still rules, and it doesn't matter if it's week 1 or if it's Super Bowl. Like, the Patriots are super well coached. Mike Vrabel's DNA is all over this team, and he's been there. Josh McDaniels has been in 10 Super Bowls. It'll be his 10th Super Bowl he's coached in. That's crazy. Like, they have some of the experience there. Mike Vrabel knows he's won it as a player. The Patriots organization is just, Robert Kraft's done a heck of a job for them to be in this position again. But to see who they've played and how they've beat teams, to me, it's another class, man. And it's not me trying to be a biased fan. Obviously, I'm wearing a Steve Largent jersey. Like, I get that I'm a fan here. But, like, to me, there's a higher percentage to me that this game is a blowout than it's close. Or in a blowout, 10 points, 14 points, something like that. I want a good Super Bowl. To me, like, obviously I'll take a win however I get it, but there's a part of me that's, man, I would love a win on the last play, like the euphoria of that, because if it's boring, man, like it's still great and I'm going to celebrate and I'm probably going to cry, but I also want like a good game. And like I say all that to say that my score, I'm going to say it's going to be 28-13 is what I think the score will be, and I think the Seahawks will win. And I just think that Drake May's not played well against really good defenses, and he's the most sacked quarterback in the league. And the Seahawks are the number one ranked team in pressures, and they blitz the least amount for the season. So that's just a mismatch right there that I think we've seen this script before in the Super Bowl, like teams that don't have good offensive lines. Patrick Mahomes against the Bucks, Patrick Mahomes against the Eagles are two ones that stand out right there to me, and those games were not close because of that right there. Because one quarterback was running for his life, and the other one had time.
Yeah. By the way, Grant, I don't think you gave even what should be your number one reason is that the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, your kid would be like the only Super Bowl your kid's ever seen would be the Seahawks winning.
Yep.
They'd be like, that's all like your kid could actually say, that's all I know. I know your kid doesn't talk, but like they could.
I hope when that kid can talk at the age of 50, that is what that child says. That's the only Super Bowl win I've ever known.
Yeah.
Dad banned football after that, actually. He said it's happier.
The other stat that I do have for this game is that the Patriots, even though they have Christian Gonzalez and what's the other guy? Marcus Jones, the other guy that's ball for them. Overall, as a team, they rank 31st in defending wide receiver ones, and in PFF, like they are not good at defending wide receiver ones, and so I don't know how they're probably going to try and shadow JSN. Maybe I don't know if that's what they do, but to be that low of a rank there in defending the wide receiver ones, so wide receiver ones eat on this team, even with a good secondary. However, that is happening, I have no idea. When I saw that, I didn't really believe it, but that's what PFF says. So.
I've said on the show many times, PFF is trash. I genuinely have lots.
But real good when it confirms my biases.
Absolutely it is. I've
like
also noted the PFFs that were really nice to some 49ers, including Trent Williams specifically, because there's no other way to grade a stinking like offensive lineman. There is.
I don't know how you do that for linemen. I don't.
Yeah.
Know
Oh, he's got a 84.6 blocking grade. What the crap does that mean?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, I have no idea. And by the way, 84.6 is really good. Bees are elite in pass and run blocking. Why wouldn't a 94.6 be like the thing? But 80 something is really good. Oh, whatever. And it's out of 100, by the way. No, I want to go and just tap on the Patriots from the scheduling standpoint. Like we talked about quarterbacks. We talked about the lack of gauntlet that they've had to run. The New York Giants had two wins this year over teams that were over 500. The Patriots had one. Let that sink in, okay? And that's before the playoffs. In the regular season, okay, because they had to win a couple games to get here. But in the regular season, they had one game where they had beat a plus 500 team, or they did beat a plus 500 team. I just look at what Vrabel's done to get him here, and I think it's amazing. When we talked about the Broncos, we talked about that roster and how it's constructed and how Sean Payton coaches the crap out of it. And we noted the fact that they had no blue chip guys on offense. I think Bo Nix would like a word about that at this point, and we're probably going to need to revisit that conversation heading into next year because I think he proved himself 100% throughout the season and into the in and through the playoffs that he played. But when you look at what Vrabel has on this roster, it's trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Trenches. This dude has trenches. Blue chips don't really exist except for the quarterback position, and that's still developing. And I would say with Gonzalez, despite what the PFF grade would give them against number one receivers, but Gonzalez is a blue chip and probably top 5 coverage guy in the league right now. Certainly a good debate on it, but probably. And that puts him in blue chip status. So outside of that, what's on that offense that you're scared of? Like genuinely scared of? What's on that defense that makes that thing really go? Well, coaching makes that thing really go. You're going to see two guys that are at their peak right now doing their absolute best and putting together one of the best seasons that they've had as coaches. I know that's saying a lot more about Vrabel than it is about McDonald because of the sphere that we've got to look at here. You got 2 years with McDonald, but This is a collision course. The Pats have been the weaker team comparatively, and that's not really a knock because they're in the flipping Super Bowl. So, end of day here, it's the Seahawks. Not by a lot for me. I'm going to be in the 2017 range. I like that one, and that feels about right with these defenses. We could all be wrong. This could be some boring flipping Rams Patriots trash, and we're all just get it over with. Bad Bunny better be a decent show because the rest of this sucks. Whatever, it's not going to be a good show. I just want to throw out there. I'm not a hater.
I'll disagree. Just want to
Yeah, I understand what you're disagreeing. Listen, what makes the Super Bowl show, halftime show, we're going to pause for a moment, is the crap that they put in it. Okay? It's not necessarily the performance of the individual, it's the production. I do not have confidence in the production that's going to take place. I just don't.
I think
because of the electrical currents in the air in
the
San
EMF,
Francisco.
the EMF substation. Is that why? Here's where I'm gonna push
an EMP like around the stadium, and we're gonna lose signal.
The whole thing is pre-recorded, guys. That's the way that this works. The majority of these performances that we have seen for the last 25 years are pre-recorded.
Here's the thing.
Come out here, it's meh.
When last year, though, I feel like the presentation was lackluster, but to me it was cinema because it was my guy in the halftime show.
Yeah.
And Jameson would agree that like he could have been up there with just sitting and it would have been.
Could have done the Rihanna when she was pregnant. I was just like walking around on platforms for 30 minutes.
And I would have loved every segment because
it
was about the it wasn't about the presentation to me, it was about the music. And
who was last year?
Kendrick. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I mean him saying "Say Drake" and staring at the camera and smiling was like
okay.
I mean, like top moment of my life.
That I did enjoy that part.
The production was also pretty great because there's a bunch of little hidden Easter eggs.
If you're a fan,
pieces there.
Yeah,
sure.
If you're a fan, you notice. But
here, I'm not knocking on a style of music. I think you can do any style and do it well. It's the production companies that they put in charge of this stuff. And usually when it's got the edge and flair that the production company who's doing Bad Bunnies does it, when it has that style to it, it's pretty, It's been a little cringe. It doesn't feel super put together. This is, to me, comparative in terms of the production companies of when Coldplay did it. And it was just not a good mashup of things.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That was pretty weak in terms of that. And I didn't necessarily hate any of the acts or anything. I'm not a guy who just hates on acts in general. I was there to give The Weeknd a shot. That's fine. Let's see what it is. That's not my favorite dude. My kids love one of his songs. But, dude, it was a summer jam for us one year. But legit, yeah, I'll give anybody a shot. Let's see what it is. I would still tell you that Katy Perry is top 3 all time for me.
That was crazy.
Because her show was legit. That was crazy. And I can't imagine what she could do with tech from now. But that's somebody who is out there to do the stage performance and make it a big show. And I'm about that big show. I love Cirque du Soleil. So, like, that's a thing. I love those style of shows. My wife and I are going back to Vegas this year to go watch one that we haven't seen yet. And, I just love that stuff. But, yeah, is it going to be a show? Or is it just going to be a dude with some dancers that are wearing a questionable amount of things and that make me have to go, hey, guys, we're gonna play a game right now. Click. Because that's probably what's happening the entire time. So I'm out on that. Not my thing. But I paused way too long on that, just for the record. I'm bad. I want to get to our guest picks, so we've got everything in
I would
there.
like to pick, personally.
Go ahead.
And
While I'm
Brogan.
looking up, hit it.
Yeah. Personally, I would like to make one Super Bowl pick, please.
That'll be $3.
I'm going to say Seattle 28-21. But for all of the talking that we have, I think, justifiably had surrounding the Patriots regular season and the teams that they've played and why we feel that's disqualifying in certain ways for certain things, all of that is thrown out the window if you win the Super Bowl. Nobody's going to remember the Patriots had a weak regular season the year they won the Super Bowl and they beat the freaking Seahawks, who are like one of the best DVOA teams of all time.
Yep.
Like, no one's going to remember that at all. So if they can pull it off, you wipe that slate clean. Grant mentioned it earlier. You would have ran through all of the best defenses in the postseason to get there, basically. You know what? If you want to go out there and do it. But yeah, I'm aiming maybe a little higher scoring than you, Matt. I'm going to go that 28-21.
28-21. All right. Locking the rest of these in. I was 2017, Grant. I see you working some magic there. We had Wes at 34-21 Seahawks. He has been consistently
In the
a high
30s.
score guesser.
Yep.
And then Brittany
Chose the Patriots.
She did. She picked
Yeah.
the Patriots 28-21.
Yeah.
Let's pick same score as Jameson, but reverse winners.
Yeah. Her Packer bias is really loud.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Her hate for the Seahawks is really loud.
Yeah.
Some people pick with their heart. It's cute. And then and I think I disclosed this once, but we have one guesser on the guest panel who is very young. He is in 7th grade. His name is John. Shout out to John. I went to his birthday party this last week, actually. John got the opportunity to guess with us because he is a very passionate football fan, and he genuinely has a great record. I would love to put him in like regular season pick'em with us and just see what kind of damage he could do and maybe make one of us feel bad about ourselves. But John has done so far the best of all of our guest pickers and does a great job guessing scores as well. He's taken the Seahawks 27-20. Very close to Jameson there. And Mike as well, who picked 24-20 Seahawks. Brogan, did you pick already?
I haven't sent it to you, but no, I have not done my pick yet.
Hit it, man.
It's hard with Super Bowl with all the narratives. I never want to pick because everyone's picking this one team, so you should pick it. So what I did is I just looked at what wins Super Bowls. If you look at Super Bowl 1, Super Bowl 25, Super Bowl 40, 50, like what is a constant theme? And it's defense, it's a good run game, and not turning the ball over. And Seahawks had the better defense. The Seahawks I don't know, I wouldn't say they had the better run game than the Patriots because I know Stevenson and Henderson have been running the ball well. I trust the Seahawks run game against the Patriots defense more than I trust the Patriots run game against the Seahawks defense. And then
and Ken Walker's been on a tear.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been better than both of them.
And
last,
as
like,
a receiver,
months.
he's been great too.
Yeah.
Just take it easy on that. They had 175 yards twice in a row, the two of them. Real good.
The thing that worries me, and I think the thing that's gonna flip, is the turnover game. The Patriots have won one of their playoff games because of a bunch of turnovers, and they didn't bury that team. Like it wasn't close, but it should have been more of a blowout. So I think the Seahawks are the better team. I just think throughout the roster, I know it doesn't always matter, but there is a point where the better player does matter. And I like the Seahawks offensive line and defensive line. I think they're really good in the trenches. And I think with Seattle, the thing is they might get 14 points, not from their offense. You never know when a pick six or DeMarcus Lawrence has 2 touchdowns this year. Yeah, it came in one game, but you never know. And that's not including special teams. At any moment, special teams can just take over. And so I have the Seahawks winning 28-17.
Okay.
And I think I'm worried that it's also going to be a Patriots-Rams game. Like I could see McDonald being like, we're going to just run the ball and it doesn't go anywhere. And Drake May can't do anything. And it's just a dogfight. But I think this is a slow win for the Seahawks. Like I could see this being 10-7 or 7-7 at halftime, and it's just chunk plays. I just think after beating the Rams, after beating the Niners, I think they're just playing at a really high level right now. And so
they're more battle tested. Just for as much as you play who your opponents are, like absolutely, but like they are more battle tested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. A segment we didn't get to for time today was we were going to talk about trades and the importance thereof in the midseason. And at the time, it was impact, but I think it registered a little bit low key. And that's Rashid Shaheed coming over from New Orleans. Like the impact has been undeniable to the return game. Yes, he does things in the offense, but like legitimately in the return game, he has been a complete revelation for them, and what I would say was the missing piece for this team to get over the hump and become the 1 seed that they were. That showed itself in their first playoff game against the Niners. Moment 1. Guy runs one back. He's a difference maker and has been huge for this team. Probably going to go get a great contract, by the way, after this. There's no way he will be playing in Seattle next year with some of the things they're going to be doing. So this is a half-season rental that may get them a Super Bowl. That might be the difference. Is you 14 points not from the offense, and one of those touchdowns may come from him.
And again, too, because there's that speed now, it forces opponents to be in a light box, which has helped out the run game because you have to see them over top, and that's we've seen the run game was been an issue, and man, it's not really clicking. But then the last 6 weeks, it clicked.
Yeah, there was no other deep threat on this team outside of JSN for a fat minute.
And speed scares defenses more than anything else.
Yep. And Shaheed has proved that he can catch the ball going on a straight line, the sideline. Yeah, he's not going to go grab contested catches. He's not that big size player that you're asking to do that. He's the guy that can just beat you down the line. If you're going to run Texas and send him on a streak to the outside, that's the guy you do that with. He's literally built for it. So
against
big factor, I think.
The Niners, it was the kickoff return. Against the Rams, it was literally snap, and he just ran straight threw him the ball. And he didn't do a whole lot else that game. But, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just he is a playmaker.
Yeah.
And you never know when that's coming. I cannot imagine they go the entire game without that guy doing something that impacts the game significantly. That could end up being a fun clip next week. We'll see.
I think special teams is really underrated in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And the Seahawks special teams unit, their punter.
Reach to the Rams fan.
Yeah, their punter pins people deep all the time. Jason Myers is really consistent. No, he doesn't have an insane leg, but like he's consistent. Their return game, like and in the Super Bowl, those things matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you rightly pegged the differences in terms of teams that win Super Bowls and teams that lose them. The turnover margin is the number one thing in Super Bowl history as to winners and losers, because if you turn the ball over, good teams make you pay, period. And we've seen that every single Super Bowl probably we've ever watched. I think in the history of the NFL, there are only 2 Super Bowls where the winning team I had a negative turnover margin. I think it's in 2 of them ever. You couldn't find stats like that about any other subject and context to the game itself. That'll be the key for sure in this game. You got defenses that can take it away and special teams that can blow it up. Buckle up, kids. It's Super Bowl week. RIP to the 2025 season. It was a great one. Certainly one for the books. We appreciate all of the NFL teams and the entertainment that they give us every single week.
Maybe not all teams.
All of them that we like. But no, Sportsify is here for it again next week. We're going to be recapping the Super Bowl that was. Regardless of the outcome, we will collect ourselves. We will roll in to do a callback to earlier. We will roll in to our end of season regardless and come back and discuss it all. Probably still stupid full from Sunday, but we hope you guys enjoy this weekend. We hope the halftime show doesn't suck, and we will see you on the backside of it all. This is Sportsify.